Welcome into the Dough Show.
Hey.
We have a jam-packed show for you today.
Lots of stuff.
We have lots of stuff.
Fired up, man.
All sorts of fired up. Drink his Mountain Dew Code Red. He is ready to go. What do we got? Sad but true. We got a quick sports econ update. We have the Fed raising interest rates, how that affects you.
What does that mean? How does it even work?
I have final thought, and you have the walk-off, which you have prepared. Just remembered it. So we are all squared away. But first, let's get to a little housekeeping. We have Stock Madness. Friday is the last day. That will be it for our Stock Madness.
2 days to go.
2 days to go. We're basically we're halftime just finished. We're in the second half now, basically. So
my earnings, it's MU versus Momo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm way behind, and earnings is actually Thursday after the close.
Oh,
so
man.
cutting it to we would have known by now.
Yeah. Well, you're not way behind. You're a little behind because Momo's strong, but
but you're up already 8% for the week.
I thought it was 6, and you were up 2. You're up 2 on the week.
I got 2. Yeah.
Oh, am I up 8? I thought it was 6.
That's okay. I'm just sitting back. I'm just waiting.
You're
I want to
waiting
come
to make
in.
that charge. Yeah.
Last little bit.
I'm hoping we just blow it out. Let's get to like 12 tomorrow, and let's just put this thing away.
We'll see.
I'm pretty stoked about it. And then that'll be it. Then we move on. I guess Monday we'll follow through with the wagers or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Monday will be the wagers, and now that we are on YouTube, everyone will hopefully get to see your pajamas, which will just be great. A nice professional look for you, and that'll be good. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed the Stock Madness thing. I feel like I feel like it was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun keeping up with these stocks, and we'll have to do it again in a different form, hopefully sometime in the near future.
Love it. I got a little housekeeping if you don't mind.
Yep.
Tomorrow, clients of Jazz Wealth, 7:30 is Wine and Wealth. We're going to cover Nest Egg, a really detailed portion, real short, right? Then we call it Wine and Wealth because by the time I finish my glass of wine, show's over.
I like it.
So that's it. That's tomorrow at 7:30.
I'm so excited.
Are you excited?
I'm ready to do this, man.
Why? What are you excited about?
Because I'm gonna be there, right?
You're coming?
Didn't you invite me?
It's the clients only.
Did you not invite me? Oh.
The link only goes out to clients. Would you like to go and see?
I'm just gonna sit right outside the window and I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
Everyone that's not clients, join me outside the office. We will listen.
We're starting to fire. We're gonna hang out outside. And next Thursday, if you go to webinar.jazzwealth.com, that is the class we're gonna do on what a difference investing $1 makes. I'm gonna have everybody saying one number before they go to bed. You'll be thinking about this number all the time. What a difference a dollar makes. And the dollar's not the number, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go. So stay tuned for that, or go ahead and join that, and that'll be that's gonna be a great time. I can feel it now. I can feel the energy. It's just gonna be a good time. Speaking of competition, we'll talk about this real quick. I had told you Monday that a buddy and I were getting into a stock competition. And actually, you know what, dude? When I told him, because he has no interest in listening, like I said, I told him that you picked him, and he was so happy. He was so happy that...
Why didn't he listen?
He just doesn't want to listen. He can't do that stuff, but...
he's so awkward.
He is a little awkward. I know he's not hearing that, but yeah, he was real happy about that. He was happy that you picked him, and I thought about it a little bit more, and I was really disappointed. So technically, the competition started today, and he texts me.
I can't do it.
He texts me at noon, and he goes, "Now I know why I hate stocks." And I knew...
What happened?
So I knew what he's...
Well, let's give him a little recap, though. So you and your buddy have started a trading competition. Very small, right? Just to get you guys interested.
$50 we're starting.
$50.
First one to 150 wins.
Which, by the way, starting with $50, starting with $100, whatever gets your mind into the game, I love it.
Right. And so...
It has to be real, by the way. This fake stuff, the simulated trading and stuff, doesn't work.
Yeah. We no interest in that. And so he had texted me, "Now I know why I hate stocks." And I was working, and I read it, and I said, "That's kind of funny." I knew it started today, and I didn't do anything. I nothing.
Well, that was your game plan, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit back and I'm not gonna push it because I knew he was gonna push it, and I knew we started today. I figured he would be in at some point today.
Okay.
His next text he sent me was F Robinhood, and that was at 12:41, and so I had to call him to see how it went. And he's already down, I think, $20 or something like that.
Whoa! I wonder what he picked.
He wouldn't tell me, but one of them was like a 40-cent stock that was supposed to merge with someone else or whatever. They didn't end up merging, and so he went to go sell, and now he has to hold it until tomorrow because of Robinhood rules or something.
Yep.
And he got all messed up, so he's down $20, and he's not happy. So,
how long does the competition go?
first person to 150.
Oh, to 150. Yeah, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, we're just gonna sit back and wait, and if
Yeah.
he gets to 0, I am in no rush, and we'll wait for him to pay for the next round of golf. So,
That's the wager.
yeah. So
Nice.
that should be fun. I guess we already talked about Stock Madness, right? So we don't have to really get
That's
into that.
dialed in. We'll do that on Friday. We'll put the thing up, final thing. Be good.
That'll be fun. Covered that, and now Sports Econ Minute. You want to do that real quick?
What do you got?
So, actually, first off, the Carolina Panthers, they're up for sale. This isn't the Econ Minute, but I just
Is
saw
it really?
They're up for sale because the dude went under the hashtag Me Too movement. He's the last owner was in
Whoa.
trouble with some of that stuff, so he's forced to sell the team, and so
Wow.
now they have a new one out there. And right now the bid is at $2.5 million. It's been bid up to $2.5 million. The Panthers. So whoever's gonna buy them, it's up to $2.5 billion, which would
Billion.
billion
Okay.
with a B,
Yeah.
which would be the highest ever for any franchise ever.
That's
bought.
got to make the Cowboys worth like $8 billion then.
Something ridiculous. Internet entrepreneur Michael Rubin is the guy who is at $2.5 billion right now. I don't remember. Oh, he's the He owns Fanatics. That's what he does. Michael Rubin owns Fanatics.
What?
Fanatics?
Never heard of him.
They used to be in Tyrone Mall. Remember Fanatics? Isn't that?
How's he got $2.5 billion?
Fanatics is big. Not here. But
Fan addicts is how you
Fanatics.
would say it.
Fanatics. Okay, Fanatics.
Fan addicts. Yeah. Okay, I remember the store.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's that. So that was an interesting one. But there's a new football league starting. Have you heard about this? Not the XFL.
I did.
The XFL starts spring of 2020.
Oh, there's a third one.
Vince McMahon announced, a while ago, but now there's a new one. The Allegiance of American Football
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
starts in 2019. This was announced 2 days ago. And it's with the son of Vince McMahon's old partner or whatever who started the XFL with him.
They just won't quit.
This is good, though. They have a lot of good stuff going for them. A bunch of the people that are on top leading this charge are ex-NFL players. Troy Polamalu, big name. Clay Matthews, big name. Bill Polian used to be an executive for the Colts with Peyton Manning. Big names, right?
Okay.
They have partnered with CBS, who will air one game a week, starting the week after the Super Bowl. One game. Not pushing it to 8 games a week. They're just going to show us one. One game a week. Now, how they're picking their city... Well, go ahead.
Where are you going to play the game?
Well, it depends on the city.
High
Now,
schools?
Well, an interesting one that I was thinking about for this area, the Rays are getting ready to leave Tropicana Field.
Oh, we would be prime.
What are they doing?
Prime spot.
St. Pete's great. It's kind of far away from...
It's big enough.
Yeah, it's a good size. I think that's a great spot for it. But the way they're picking their cities is interesting. They did a survey. This could be all hogwash, but they convinced me. They're basing their engagement on other sports. When football season ends, for example, here, do we go and watch Lightning games, or do we stop watching sports altogether? They allegedly have found 8 cities where the people don't go watch sports, and those are the cities they're going to go into. So for Falcon fans, are they going to the basketball games, or do they stop? Atlanta Falcon fans,
Yeah.
do they stop going to basketball games? Stop watching sports? They're going to go there because as soon as
So
football
we're
ends-
in.
Well, the Lightning are big here. The Lightning have sold out for
That's Tampa, though, right? That's always been the argument. That's Tampa.
Tampa, St. Pete, Tampa Bay. I don't know what I'd be all for it. They got a bunch of different things they're going with. Base salary, there will be pretty much a salary for all starters, and then they pay with incentives. Quarterbacks that do this, offensive linemen that do this, running backs that rush for this amount of yards get this amount of money.
Yeah.
So now,
Similar now, isn't it?
well,
Win the Super Bowl, you get an extra $1 million.
right, but quarterbacks are being paid 300 whatever, just
Oh,
$20 million
dumb
a
money.
year.
Yeah.
While the running backs aren't. They're only there for a couple years.
Yeah.
So a bunch of interesting stuff going on with that, and that starts a year before the XFL. So all the players that want to go play in the XFL will now go to this league because they don't have to wait 2 years; they only have to wait 1. Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, players
And
like that. RG3, Robert Griffin III,
prediction, it starts in a year.
starts in 1 year.
It will be closed in 3 years.
It's a fair argument, but now you know why the XFL failed because they went head to head with the NFL. I believe they were played in the fall as well.
What was the one before where Donald Trump owned
That he was a part of
American Football League?
the AAFL or something like that. But
They've tried.
this is the first time it was executed perfectly. Trump had a bunch of things wrong with his, and I can't remember exactly what it was. but he wanted to directly go head to head with the NFL. This guy's come out and said, well, no, we want to be a supplemental league for the NFL. For the players in college that we know, a bunch of players in college that we know that don't get to go to the NFL, come join us for a year or two, and then go to the NFL.
Wow,
pretty
maybe.
good.
Wish him best. I don't know. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. A bunch of investors, big investors. Chernin Group, you heard of them?
Nope.
They're a big one. There's a bunch of big investors. They got 8 big investment.
Sweet.
That's all I got for my sports econ minute real quick.
What do you want to do? You want to pick a story? You want to guess a story first?
For sad but true?
Yeah.
You don't want to get to our main topic first?
The main topic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll keep it somewhat short because the idea here is if you're listening, you've seen the Fed raise rates today. And the question I get, and believe it or not, like clients call and ask this question all the time. Hey, Dustin, Fed raised rates by 25 basis points or 1/4%. Does that mean our investments added 1/4% today?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I mean, that's not the answer.
Oh.
Hey, the Fed raised the rates 1/4%. Does that mean my checking account pays 1/4% now? No. Yeah, darn.
You're just ruining my day.
Hey, Dustin, the Fed raised the interest rates 1/4%. Does that mean that I'm going to pay more for a home loan now?
That one's a yeah.
You going with yeah on that one?
I gotta be right on one of these, right?
Nope.
Oh.
Hey, Dustin, the Fed raised rates by 1/4% today. Does that mean my high interest savings account is going to pay me 1/4% more?
Absolutely.
No.
Dang it.
No. What does it mean when the Fed raises rates? What is it?
Well, you took my 5 guesses, so...
So you're going to see it. You see it all over the media. The Fed raised rates 1/4%, and they're projected to go, I think, 3 more times this year for a total of 4. They're just inching the rates higher and higher. But if it has nothing to do with you, then who pays this rate? What's the difference? And it's kind of an interesting story. So if you're a bank, let's say me and you have a bank. What do you want to call the bank, man?
Tibbets and Tibbets for the people.
And they'll always spell it wrong. The website will always get missed. Nobody ever spells our name right.
No, there's no way. Do it twice.
You know.
Bank. Let's just call it bank.
The dojo.
No, let's just call it bank. It just a big sign.
We'll call it bank,
Okay,
right?
cool,
You can't mistake that. So if you come to bank
Nice.
and we open our doors, what are we doing? We are letting people deposit money.
Mm-hmm.
We are letting people withdraw money.
Mm-hmm.
What else are we doing at the bank?
Providing great customer service for people.
Oh, customer service, yeah.
Yeah.
But financially, what's
Oh,
going on
okay.
at the bank? I mean, you're a nice guy. I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody's happy to take the lollipop from you and everything. But what are you doing?
We open savings account. Did you just say that?
Open savings accounts,
Provide mortgages for people.
mortgages, good one.
Loans.
Loans of all kinds. We're taking deposits.
Giving treats to dogs that come through drive-thrus.
You do that, yeah. Little sucker for the kids. So
Yeah.
all of that is money coming in and out. So think of our bank as just sloshing around money all day long. How do we know if we're in the positive or negative every day? Like, how do we know if we loaned out more money than we actually have? So what the Federal Reserve says is, here's the deal. If you're going to have a bank, at the end of every single day, you have to have a set reserve. So you need to know where you at the end of every day. And what happens is banks can't possibly have that amount of money at the very close of the day. Because if a customer comes in and wants 3 loans and they give it out, they may end up at a negative. Meaning at the end of the day, you're supposed to have X number of dollars on your books, and you have negative numbers on the books. You're in a hole. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So people brought in money, but more people took out money and took loans, which is fine. That's what we're open for business for. But at the end of every day, the Federal Reserve makes sure you have X number of dollars. And if you do not have those dollars in the bank, you're supposed to report it to the Federal Reserve. And nobody wants to go to the Federal Reserve and say, we're short. We didn't follow the rules. We have less money than you wanted us to. So what happens is the other banks will loan you money. So we're bank. People come in and we go, oh shoot, it's the end of the day and we don't have enough money. We have to go to the Federal Reserve and tell them we don't have enough money. Another bank comes along, let's say Bank of America, and they go, hey bank, so we noticed you don't have enough money and you have to go tell the Fed. Let's make a deal between me and you so that you don't have to tell the Fed. You won't get in any trouble. So Bank of America says, how much money do you need? Well, I need $1 million to get back to even for the day. So Bank of America will let you borrow the money overnight, us, the bank,
Mm-hmm.
in exchange for the Federal Reserve discount rate. which is the rate that's adjusted. So what it's called is the overnight rate. And it's the overnight rate that banks charge each other to borrow money so that they don't have to go to the Fed. So essentially, they're all hiding from the Fed so that they don't get in any trouble. You know what I mean? It's like if we were kids and I reached in and grabbed a cookie from the cookie jar and you go, I'm telling Mom. Mom's going to be pissed.
I'd do that.
And I say, well, I'll get you a cookie too. And we just put the cookies back another day and you go, all right, deal. And then we don't tell.
Right.
So Mom never knows we took the cookies. We'll replace them the next day, no big deal. So the Federal Reserve interest rate that you guys see on TV is that secret rate. Now the Fed knows this is happening and they're totally cool with it, but that's the rate. So that's what you see on TV, but it does affect your credit card. It does affect your mortgage eventually, because if the bank has to borrow money from another bank at said interest rate, whatever it is now, they're not going to pay that. They're going to pass that on to their customers. So eventually they pass it on to their customers. And yes, your credit card, variable credit cards do go up slowly. Your savings account will gradually go up a little bit. Home loans will cost you more. Everything's going to cost you a little bit more. But that rate that you see on TV isn't directly the rate that you are paying.
All right, so with what Colin had said over here, is there a correlation between that and credit card interest rate?
There is. There is, because credit cards charge, when you look in the fine print, it'll say the prime rate plus 9% or something. And so the 9% is what they make. The prime rate is essentially what they're borrowing. So if the prime rate is 2%, I don't know what it is now, that's the rate that the absolute best possible customers make or can get from the bank. For example, if you go to an auto dealership and your buddy is the salesman there, and he can get you the exact wholesale price that they paid, meaning the dealer won't make a profit, right? If I walk into the dealership, I don't know anybody there, so I got to do my best, try to get the best deal, but I know they're still going to make a profit. So the prime rate is the rate at which nobody makes a profit. A credit card has prime rate plus 9%, 10%, whatever it is. Now it's going to be prime rate plus 10.2%, prime rate plus 10.5%.
I see.
So now your interest rate will slowly go up over time for sure.
I see. That was a good question from Colin there.
You think?
I thought it was a great question. Good job, Colin.
Good.
Better than one I came up with.
He's with it. So that's it. I mean, it's basically money that the banks are paying each other because can't get caught. Like my business, my personal business, if I fall under a certain equity, if I don't have my own money, my own assets worth whatever it is, I know I'm over it, but then I'm supposed to go and report that and say, guys, I'm sorry. The rule was I would keep so much money on the books. I did not. I'm supposed to report that. The banks do the same.
Okay, so for me in my everyday life, it takes a lot for me to think something's a big deal.
Yep.
Is this a big deal when they like raise interest rates or lower interest rates? If it's even by a minuscule amount, they always talk about it. How big of a deal is that really?
In the short term, not really a big deal. Over the last 10 years, what's happened? Huge deal. Big, big deal. You essentially have grown up not knowing what it's like to pay real interest rates for products. I grew up, really. When rates were already headed down when we started buying our first home. So I don't even know what it's like to pay 12% for a home loan. But anybody in their 40s and over,
I see.
They're like, yo, that's why homes were $40,000 is because it was 12.5% to get a loan.
Right.
Nobody who could afford. You couldn't afford to spend $300,000 on a home with 12% interest. So we are now heading back into the direction where your credit cards are going to go up, debt that you have, car loans are going to go up. You know, you're eventually going to pay 5, 6, 7, 8% for a car loan, which means either A, you make a lot more money, B, cars get a little cheaper, or C, there's some mix, some graduation period where we all get comfortable with the new prices and the new rates. The Fed will never say rates. They always bump it up by 0.25%.
Yeah, it's always little amounts, but
when it went down during the financial crisis, that's when they were lowering it by half points at a time.
Yeah.
Because they were like, guys, go spend money. Somebody go borrow money.
Right.
The world was falling apart.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Very nice. Is that all you got for your?
I think we covered it.
Want to hit me with some sad but sure?
All right. Are you ready? Now you're even. You're 2 for 2.
I think I'm 3 and 3.
3 for 3?
No, yeah, 3 and 3, not 3 for 3.
3 and 3?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so here's the deal. I read off stories to Cody, And one of them, they're all about public companies or Wall Street or something, anything that's interesting that has to do with finance, money, whatever. One of the stories I read to him is going to be completely made up, and I will make it clear at the end which one I made up so that nobody gets in trouble. The other one is a sad story in the fact that it's embarrassing or something, but it is going to be true, and he has to guess which one is sad but true.
One of the stories usually has a real character in it, and then the facts around it are false. And then one of them is 100% completely true. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the true story will never have anything that is not true.
Okay.
Now, what I've started doing is changing up how I word these things so that maybe that'll throw you off. I want you to focus on the story, not how I wrote or said anything.
Gotcha.
And each one has a title now.
Oh, nice.
Are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
Here we go. You guys play along too. See if you can tell me which one is sad but true. We got some people watching live. Here we go. You know the rules. You're not doing too well. I hope you get this one today. Here's the first story. You ready?
Hit me.
The title is His Best Investment Ever. Eddie Lampert, who is known for being a hedge fund manager. That's what he does in real life. He's been known for the hedge fund manager, being the chairman and CEO of Sears, and once was the director of AutoNation. I don't think they're around anymore, by the way.
What?
This guy could literally have a movie made about him. Not only for his horrible investments, because if he was invested in Sears, I don't know if you know how Sears is doing.
Not great.
So he could have a movie made about him, not only for his horrible investments, but for also what happened to him in 2003. The billionaire was kidnapped by 3 men in a parking garage with guns in Greenwich, Connecticut. He was bound, gagged, and taken to a hotel where he was put in the bathroom and told that they'd been hired to kidnap him and kill him for $1 million. The captors made Mr. Lampert record a message for his wife and kept him in the bathroom for 39 hours. Eventually, Mr. Lampert was able to negotiate and convince the kidnappers to let him go by telling him he would put $40,000 each in a trash can outside of Wendy's in Greenwich. This worked, and the kidnappers actually let him go. The FBI did catch the kidnappers just days later when a friend of theirs used Eddie Lampert's credit card to order a pizza. That is story number 1.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Anybody that's watching, does that sound like a sad but true story? Or, and I'm going to get rid of this real quick. I don't want him to see. If somebody knows the answer to any of these, I don't want him peeking over there and seeing it.
It's like what's that show? Price is Right, where the people yell out what they think.
No. Because someone might hear this. Maybe they know the story that's true and which one's false. That was story number 1. So you guys think about it. We can't see what you're saying. Anybody that's watching live. Are you ready for story number 2?
I'm ready. Let's go.
This one is called, quote, Double Agent.
Double Agent. Okay.
A British trader thought he had struck gold. Literally. In 1984, a British trader came up with an ingenious strategy now known publicly as Double Agent. First, here's how it worked. First, he would buy gold using British pounds. Then he would sell that gold in US dollars. See, in 1984, the price of gold would briefly fluctuate with the dollar, where if you acted quickly, you could buy it in one currency, sell it in the other currency for more than the cost of the home currency. Just trying to paint that picture for you.
I see. That was good. Good.
Doing this over and over amassed him a $60 million fortune and a lot of publicity for this particular trader. When news got out about his strategy, though, he immediately disappeared. 2 years later, his bones were found in the old London sewer system. I don't know if you've ever seen the London sewer system.
Mm-mm.
It's huge. It's like there's a big story going back how it was a mess. Side topic. In 2004, in declassified documents released by the US CIA, it was revealed that this trader was actually a traitor.
Oh, What a play on words.
Turns out he was a double agent. He was an undercover US CIA agent who was recruited by MI6, which is now known as the Secret Intelligence Service. The trading he was doing was real, the strategy was real, but it was actually used to fund MI6's operations around the globe. It appears that the US got wind of this and took care of the issue. To this day, no one knows how he was caught or who actually killed him, but it seems that the US got rid of one of their own men.
Ah.
That's story number 2.
Shady government or shady kidnappers.
What happened here? So you guys take your guess. We can't see or anything over there, but which one do you think is sad but true? And every week I try to top myself on the Snapchat guy peeing on that girl.
You're not gonna top that one, but this
Oh.
is a good one. This one really makes you think because they're both kind of along the same lines with the dirty players. Let's see. First, in that first story, what was that guy's name?
Eddie Lampert.
Eddie. Oh, okay. He was kidnapped. Money had to go outside of Wendy's.
Oh, we got a guess, by the way. And there's a little delay. He says, I'm guessing story number 2 is sad but true. Now, don't look over there anymore in case somebody's doing any research.
I'm guessing story number 2 is sad but true.
He's going with story number 2. So Colin says the double agent trading story is true.
I'm gonna say that the first one's fake. The second one is sad. But I'm with Colin on this. I wanted to disagree with him, but
Oh, my own identity says the second story is sad but true.
okay, I'm gonna stick with that because I'm sticking with that. I wanted to disagree with him, but I can't do it.
You your own man.
I
Victor.
know, but I really do feel that the second one is sad but true.
I'm just getting better.
No
Story number
way.
1 is
Come
sad
on,
but true.
Man.
Eddie Lampert is the CEO of a hedge fund investment in Sears. He was the director of AutoNation. He was kidnapped. Everything about that story was true. I'm not sure why they let him go for $40,000 when they clearly had $1 million. They must have been bluffing or something. But and the FBI did catch them a couple days later when their friend actually ordered a pizza. The double agent story. So tomorrow's Wine and Wealth, by the way. And I have already opened that bottle of wine. So last night, sipping on a glass of this bottle of wine, I created that story, I created that strategy, all in my head.
Everyone thought the second one was sad.
They
but
all
true.
guessed it.
I blame all of them. That's the reason I got it wrong. It's their fault, not mine.
Even Mike would have guessed number 2. But unfortunately, he was kidnapped. This was an actual event. It was a big deal. I remember hearing about the story only because I was trading with friends at the time and we thought that was funny.
Where'd you get the second story from? Wait, yeah,
Straight up in my head.
really?
Straight up made up. I made the whole thing.
See, the first one sounded like one of the shows that Blacklist?
The Blacklist, yeah.
That, I thought for whatever reason, that sounds like something from a movie. He just changed
Yep.
it into that. But that's crazy.
I was proud of it. The second story, I just started typing and I'm like, oh, this is gold. This is
Man,
gold.
that was good. That was good.
Everything about it was fake.
You were worried that if we do this enough, that one time you're gonna make up a story and it's actually gonna be like partly true and you actually nail it because it is possible. Some of these stories are just way out there.
Well, what got me thinking was there is actually a story about a...
See that last comment?
yeah, that's true. A good one, Colin. But what got me thinking about it was...
It's been a while now.
There was actually an American Greed episode on CNBC where a guy was trying to sell people to invest in him, and he claimed that he would go to Saudi Arabia and change currencies real quick, and anybody who's traded for any length of time would know that is just not possible. Now, is it possible to buy gold in one currency then sell it in another? Yes. However, you still have to convert it back to your currency, and when you do that, you've washed the whole thing, unless you time it perfectly. So there's really no arbitrage there. But it is something technically you could do. Bitcoin is popular because could you buy Bitcoin and own Bitcoin futures and play the arbitrage between the two? Yeah,
Right.
Sure could. You just got to be quick.
I'll try that. I like that idea. I'll have to give that a shot.
That is it.
All right, well, I'm going to hit my final thought.
Final thought.
And then you have a walk-off today?
I've got one.
Good. I like that. Final thought might be a little bit off, but that's okay. I thought about it today, and I thought it was okay. Let me just cue up some music for the podcast. YouTube obviously doesn't get any music. I didn't think about that. There you go. Oh, you were right on cue with this one, too.
Sweet.
My final thought goes to quick forgetters. We talked Monday about how Facebook was going to die. Okay, you and I didn't say that Facebook was going to die, but people were saying it's the end of Facebook. People are deleting their accounts. It's over. It's the end.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Yep.
From an investing perspective, this story is over. And actually, it's no longer a story, and I'll tell you why. You want to know how a story is quote-unquote big? Well, if it follows my first 2 out of 3 steps to figuring out if it's a big story, then it's not a big deal. Step 1 is usually day 1. The story's everywhere. It's a huge story. The company's doomed. Everyone's going to die. It's over. Step 2, All of a sudden, the story is not that the company is doomed, it's how much did the top dog lose? Example, Zuckerberg lost $4 billion in this ordeal. Step 3, it's over. No story, it's done. So as soon as we're talking about how much the top guy lost, story's over. No one cares anymore. Now the media will keep bringing it up, but did you see the stock yesterday and today? It's starting to recover just fine. Sure, this story is kind of important and it's something that you should be made aware of, but declare the company dead and over, it's it, that's a bit extreme. The world will move forward, Facebook will be just fine, and we will keep staring at the screen waiting for the next funny video of cats playing the piano to show up on our feed.
That is true.
That's my final thought.
That is true. Yeah. And they did a good thing today, by the way, with their response to how they're going to handle things going forward.
Sure they did.
Sold me. I'm happy with it.
That's all it's going to do. I mean,
I think they approached it seriously. They posted everything. They told you what they were going to do and how they're going to let you be more involved in it. Great.
yeah.
But if they really knew since 2015 they chose not to share it, that's a shame.
And that's exactly all you're going to do is go, it's a shame. Next thing on Facebook, let's see
Yeah.
what's next.
Am I going to use it tonight? Yeah, I'm going to go look. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Look,
you
if
do
you
have to be-
signed up for that study, you deserve it.
Right. Actually, I saw a poll last night. It was a political... Do you approve of President Trump or not? And I was like, should I do this? No, I don't want to give him my information. Like, I saw it, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, like, I'm not doing that, but...
People signed up for it.
Whatever.
All right, final thing, walk us off for the day. And I read this enough times. I'm not gonna laugh when I say it. It's from the famous comedian Stephen Wright.
Oh, another Stephen Wright.
I'm gonna keep going with Stephen Wright. He's got a billion jokes.
Oh, they're great.
The quote is, "Why is it a penny for your thoughts, but you have to put your 2 cents in? Somebody's making a penny." That's it. See you guys.
Dang, I didn't meet you quick enough.